recommend purchasing a blow fan to keep amplifier cool. It's a bit odd, but you can take it at face value. Then in a matter of minutes, 5 minutes, a small fire has engulfed the amplifier, and this fire from the amplifier has also engulfed his property, the electric guitar, which is worth a lot of money, €8,000. Furthermore, Bobby, his son, is distraught and has suffered, and we can take it again at face value, a psychological injury, which has led to him having to get treatment for his psychological injury. Bubba himself, aside from his son having this psychological injury and losing his guitar, also has not been able to undertake some of his work commitments at great financial expense. So he's at a loss, and he returns the amplifier to Rockshop, the place where he bought it. They say, we didn't make it, and there was a warning. So Bubba asks who did manufacture the amplifier. The shop manager says he doesn't know. So advise Bubba and Bobby through his next friend, which is legal speak for someone who acts on someone's behalf or who is the representative of on someone's behalf in a court proceeding. So advise Bubba and Bobby. So what we have here is a question that basically asks a student to demonstrate their understanding of how the law on defective products works and how to apply it to the present case. So what we need to get to grips with is the Liability for Defective Products Act. The Liability for Defective Products Act of 1991 is the law that you will need to deal with such a problem question. And it is very much a case of running through each of the elements of such a question, such as, is there a product? So a guitar amplifier. Is there a producer of that product? And if so, how can we identify the producer of that product? And is that product defective? So it's a case of who do we sue? Is there fault on the part of the manufacturer, the producer, in the sense that the product is defective? And what can we sue for? So what injuries or damage can you sue for? In a general sense, the Liability for Defective Products Act of 1991 imposes effectively strict liability for defective products. So the key passage in the Liability for Defective Products Act is contained in Section 2. Producer shall be liable in damages in tort or damage caused wholly or partly by a defect in his product. So in that case then, if it says shall be liable, it isn't a question in negligence, for instance, of establishing a duty of care or establishing a standard of care and whether a standard of care has been breached. Rather, if it's happened, the producer is going to be liable. So you need to identify the producer. In this instance, it has not been possible to definitively, in a kind of an ordinary sense, identify the producer because the supplier, that is Rockshop, has not been able to identify who in fact made the amplifier. In that case, there are fallbacks contained in the Act. So in Section 2, subsection 2, there are definitions of what a producer means, and we would have covered this off you would have covered this off in lectures. So a producer means either the manufacturer or producer of a finished product, the manufacturer or producer of any raw material or a component in the product, and alternatively, if there is someone who puts their name on it and holds themselves out to be the producer of the product, they can be deemed the producer. If someone imports it into the member state from a place outside the European communities to supply it to another, they can be deemed the producer.